I am obsessed with bright green, guys. Hey there, welcome or welcome back to my channel, String Things by Mel. My name's Melissa. I'm a stay-at-home mom living in Vancouver, Canada, and on my channel, I like to chat and share everything about my knitting hobby. I do have my window or my door open, so you may hear some birds chirping. Most certainly, you'll probably hear some traffic noise, but it is a lovely sunny day, so I do have the door open so that the cats can freely run in and out. I have just returned from Fibres West, which is a fiber festival produced by Penelope Fibre Arts here in the Lower Mainland. It is a festival, I would say, perhaps more geared towards spinners. This was my first time attending this festival. I kind of chickened out from going last year. I didn't really know anyone at the time to go there with and was too shy to go by myself. But I have fiber friends now, so I went there with my friends Sarah, Noelle Knits, and Lauren. Lauren is who we attended Flock Fiber Festival with, and another one of their friends. And we also met Elise from Sunday Fiber Co. there, and just kind of meandered around and browsed all the offerings. And I don't have an interest in any spinning, so there were a few booths that I just kind of quickly glossed over. And it's not that I don't like the idea of spinning, I quite like the idea, but I can't really afford to get into another hobby. And when I say afford, I don't necessarily mean financially, but space-wise, time-wise. I know it's something that I would quickly become obsessed with, so I am kind of denying myself the pleasure of spinning for as long as possible um, for that reason, or a few reasons. But I thought I'd sit down and chat about my experience today because my husband and daughter are out for the afternoon and while everything's still fresh in my mind. So we arrived at the Cloverdale Agriplex, which is the location of the festival, bright and early this morning and pretty close to opening time. And first parking lot was already full. So Keeners, it is Good Friday, so I think a lot of people do have the day off, so are able to attend the festival early in the morning. And it's not a large space. I can't recall how many vendors there are there, but I'll put a link to the website so you can see the list of vendors. There is quite a number of them there. In particular, I wanted to see the booth for Fibre Art Studio because if you have seen my latest podcast episode number 25, I showed a couple skeins of this yarn, which is from Yoriko Oki, and this is the color Glowworm. I only had purchased two skeins originally because that's all she had in stock, and I did get them for a sale price. I believe it was about $28 per skein when it was on sale. And I did kind of put in a request to be emailed when more was dyed, and the notification went out a couple days ago, and then it kind of clicked in my mind, oh, she might be at Fibres West. And yes, she was. And so now I have three skeins. So I was able to pick up a third one. These go for the price of $35 each. That's the regular price. So now I have three, which should be enough to make the cardigan that I want to make, which is the Paul cardigan from Morika Knits. And I've already placed an order through Wool Warehouse for some Cascade Heritage yarn in the color Citron. I'm hoping that's a good match. I've never seen that yarn in person, so I am taking a chance here. You know, if it doesn't work out with this, I still like the color of that yarn, so I'm not going to call it a complete bust if it doesn't match, but I chose it because it looked like a very clear and bright, something that didn't have any sort of brown undertones, which is something I was wanting to avoid because I want to maintain the brilliance and the brightness of the glowworm. So that will give me about 1200 meters to make the cardigan. I am planning to make the smallest size, and when I made the Paul sweater, I had only 1200 meters for that, and I had some left over and I made size 3. So I'm hoping that I think it has a similar enough gauge, and I am making smaller size that hopefully I'm not playing yarn chicken, and there is usually some overage included in estimates, so I'm hoping that this is going to be enough. The next thing I picked up was some minis. Didn't really have any plan to buy more minis. I just dropped my phone on the floor. I'm sure it's fine. But I saw a particular one and thought, I need that. And then it was like a domino effect. I saw that, and then I saw more and more in this same bin. So, All Points North, Indie Dyer from 100 Mile House. Sorry, I got fluff on my face. And this is the one that caught my eye. The name of this one is, well, it's shortened here, but I'm guessing it's Fluorescent Peach. And it is this amazing bright pink with peach running through it. And I have also fluorescent orange here. So the dyer told me there was a little bit of a backstory from this one. So what happened is that she was dyeing up two different colors, a pink and an orange or a peach. I don't know if it was this orange, but she had two different colors going, and she checked them and they didn't look quite right. And she actually put them all together into one pan. And then when she came back, the orange or the peach came out even more orange. But what happened with the pink ones is that they didn't go all completely orange. They actually stayed partially pink and partially orange. And so that's how you get this variegation happened. And that was a lovely happy accident that she said that she would love to recreate, but she's not quite sure how it's going to happen. But yeah, I thought those are really nice and bright and fun to add to the sweet shop blanket that I'm adding. And also from, oh my God, I just put this in a pile of crumbs on my table. I also picked up another yellow because I realized that I don't have enough yellows for the blanket, and this bright purple because Darcy loves purple. So a lot of the colors that I'm picking for the Sweet Shop blanket are geared towards Darcy's preferences. But they're all fun, and it's a blanket, and this is where I get to have fun and use colors that I wouldn't wear, but love to look at. So the yellow one is called Come On Get Happy. This purple is called Royal, and then we have the Fluorescent Peach and Fluorescent Orange. And just one more bit of yarn that I picked up. Okanagan Dye Works, Nikki, Okanagan Dye Works. I always visit her booth if I can, and she was there. And I am obsessed with bright green, guys. So I picked up a skein of her sock yarn or her fingering yarn. This is at 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's a 3-ply. The color is electric lime, and it's a little bit more green in person. But I picked this up because I'm going to fold it double and make a ribbed hat or toque for winter. Hopefully I can get it done before winter so I can wear it. I wear a lot of dark colors and neutrals for my outerwear, and I've just been kind of craving and really wanting just a bright pop of color. And I think the easiest way to add that, and also a functional way, is a bright colored hat. I don't really wear scarves. They haven't really been very functional for me when I'm running around with Darcy at the park. Also just too warm, and the scarves I do have are just kind of too big. So maybe I just need to make a smaller scarf or something. But hat is something that's easy to throw on and take off. And yeah, I mean, I'm tan right now. It won't be this tan in the winter, but like this in contrast with my black hair and like dark gray coat or black coat, I think this is going to be a really fun pop of color in the winter. So the last few bits and bobs I got at Fibres West were buttons and pins. Oh, also Girl Guide cookies. This is now turning into a thing where every time I go to a local fiber festival, there seems to always be Girl Guide cookies, so of course I picked up a box of Girl Guide cookies as well. So if I don't find any yarn, I always find pins and Girl Guide cookies. So let's start with the pins that I found and gather them up here. I just kind of threw everything on the table here because this is totally a spontaneous idea to sit down and record. So, oh, I forget the name of the booth where I bought these from. I bought these for $5 each. I first saw this one, and this is the one that made me think, yeah, I'm going to stop and take a look at all these pins. I saw this one, and I felt a little bit of a chuckle. I don't know if you can read that, but it says multipass. And I'll give you a moment. But for those of you who don't get this reference, it's from the movie Fifth Element with Bruce Willis and Mila Jokovic. Is that her last name?
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Anyway, she's at like the bus station, multipass. Anyways, that just gave me a happy little chuckle, and because that pin made me do that, I needed to buy it. So I got that one. And then I also got these two pins. Always got to get something cat themed. And always got to pick something for Darcy. So I picked this kind of purpley crescent moon and this cat tangled up in yarn. So I thought those were very cute. Only 3 pins this time. Didn't go too crazy. What I did go crazy with was the booth that was selling vintage buttons. And they had these big boards of little cards with all the buttons taped onto, and you just kind of looked at these boards, and as you found something that you definitely wanted to buy, you had to like rip the card off this board. And so I'll start with the pin because I found this vintage pin, which is, it looks like a woodland nymph with a unicorn with a super long horn on top. I just thought that was just kind of neat. Again, I don't really do anything with pins other than just like collecting them. I'm not even sure where I'm going to put this one, but I just like the colors of it in the picture. It kind of gave me, you know, like old Greek mythology vibes. I dig that kind of stuff, so I got it. Now, buttons. I am looking for a particular type of button. I'm looking for really small buttons because I'm going to get to in a bit, but there's going to be a little bit of a change in my spring and summer knitting queue, so I'm also going to provide an update on that. But I bought many cards of shell buttons. I'll have to do these a few at a time, but they're all some sort of shell. And I don't have any projects in mind for these ones, but I just thought they are really pretty and you can never have too many buttons. So I got those ones. And yeah, like $6 for this card, $7 for this one, $7 for these little guys. So I got a bag of shell buttons. This bag was $5, and these buttons are probably all about the 10mm size. These are all 2-hold shell buttons. And then I also got this card of really small black buttons that have a little bit of a textural design on them. These ones are probably like 9mm, 10mm size. These ones say vintage glass, so that's pretty cool, black vintage glass. And then I also got these because these ones look pretty tiny. These ones might be like 8mm or 9mm buttons. Sorry, I only know metric. I don't know what these are in inches or anything, but they're just some plain kind of translucent little buttons. And the reason why I'm searching for tiny little buttons is that I want to add the Cardi jumper from Vert Knits to my spring and summer knitting queue. So what has happened so far? Okay, what have I done? What have I completed from that list is, well, one is my Levitate wrap, which is what I'm wearing right now. This is Drops Baby Merino held double in the color Sage. That was the first thing on my list that I wanted to finish. The next thing is cami number 4. That's something I already have on the needles. That's in progress. And one of the next things I was going to cast on is the cognac sweater from Atelier Castin. And the plan was to use the yarn I have from Sunday Fiber Co. in the color Lamb's Ear, both of them. Here's the Solstice fingering, which is a high twist fingering. And this is the Cumulus Mohair. Again, both of these are in the color Lamb's Ear. Hold those together. And this is not blocked, but this was my swatch here. And it's a very pale kind of gray green. And my issue with it is that I can see the twist from the fingering, which, you know, in a different project may not be a super big issue. And then the next thing is I'm not sure if I want an entire sweater in this color. I don't know if it quite works for me. Like, I'm tan right now, so I think it looks nice, but I'm not always this tan. Like, I'll only be this tan really only a couple months of the year. Like, in case you didn't know, I just went on vacation in Mexico, so that's why I look this dark right now. Otherwise, I'm this dark usually just in the months of, say, like June to August. So normally I would have, I don't know, is there anywhere in my body that's like more pale right now? No. So I'm not sure. Also, just because of how the high twist yarn looks in this with this loose gauge. So I still want to make that sweater, still want to use that pattern, but I think I'm going to change up the yarn for it. Not going to make a decision yet because I'm more sure about the Cardi jumper than this one, but I am kind of leaning towards using this Nimbus Surrey that I recently purchased from Sunday Fiber Co. Nimbus Surrey has a lower meterage compared to the Cumulus Mohair in a skein. So this is 50-gram skein, and there's only 300 meters versus I think there's 435 in the Cumulus Mohair skeins. And I only have 3 of these, so I have 900 meters, which will be enough to make the cognac sweater. So holding a strand of this with a strand of just plain white fingering is the plan. Perhaps the Bear palette yarn that I have from Knit Picks could be a good one because it's a bit of a warm white if I want to maintain some warmth in here. But that is the idea. I think that could be a better combination. And if I use this yarn, then I might opt for the finishing that has the ribbed crew neck versus the I-cord edging, which is what I was considering before. But since I'm not entirely sure about which yarn combination I want to make, and I still have Knit City to go to in Toronto in May, don't know if I've actually mentioned that before, but yes, I will be traveling to Toronto in May for Knit City. So I'm going to leave the cognac sweater for kind of later in the queue and see if something else, a better combination comes up. So instead of casting on that sweater next, Cardi jumper, I've already have a swatch for. And the yarn that I have here is, again, some more Sunday Fiber yarn. I'm on a bit of a Sunday Fiber kick. And it is the Drift DK that I purchased at Knit City, Vancouver back in September. It's 50% baby alpaca, 25% silk, 25% linen in the color abalone. It's a very, like, you can see how much drape it has just because of how floppy this skein is. It kind of looks similar to this Dreamscape colorway. Very similar, except I would say abalone has more of these orange speckles that are going through it, whereas Dreamscape doesn't have any speckles at all. It's a soft pastel rainbow of colors that are going through it. And Drift DK, I would say, has a little bit of a warmer base color to it. So this is the yarn I want to use. I want to make size 1 or the smallest size of the cardi jumper because I intend to wear it more like a top, even though it is a cardigan if you wear it in the v-neck in the front, and it's got the original version or original look has just simple I-cord edging, and that's the look that I would like to do. And it has really tiny buttons going down the front, and it's actually a reversible garment, so you could wear the buttons in the back and it's kind of have this high neck and then the V in the back. I don't know if I'd ever wear it like that because I don't know if that works nicely with my proportions here. But I don't intend to wear it like a cardigan. I would never wear it open, but I would still make it flat just on the off chance that I do want to unbutton it a little bit. But I want it kind of close fitting to wear it like a top. And I have my swatch here for it. And I didn't trim the end from my swatch. I actually blocked it like this because I think I potentially might be playing yarn chicken, but I managed to get gauge with just a single strand. Here it is. It's a very subtle like variegation in there, and also it's in a small swatch, so who knows what the final garment will actually look like. Will there be any more like pooling or anything like that? I don't know. I don't plan on alternating skeins, and also mostly because I just don't want to deal with that kind of management, and I'm kind of lazy that way. I just let the yarn do its thing. I got lucky with my Paul sweater with using the Aura Sport yarn there, and that one miraculously very little pooling. That was a tonal yarn, so I don't know if it's going to be even better or worse with this one that's a little bit more variegated, but yeah, we'll see how the first rows work out. But I think all these skeins look pretty similar. But I mean, how can you really tell when skeins are in a twisted hank? I ask that a lot, but it's mostly because out of laziness, I don't want to alternate skeins. Am I going to come back to regret that choice? I don't know, maybe, but I also kind of dig the idea of what happens if it does pool a lot, and then I have these kind of like splashes or blotches. I don't want to say blotches in a negative way, but that is just the best word that's coming to my mind right now. But I just imagine just these splashes of the colors. I think that could be a really cool look for this top. But so I'm going to sub in the cardi jumper into my summer and spring and summer knitting queue, push back the co-neck sweater a few spots, and this is something that I will cast on once I'm done my Hannah cardigan test, which should be done soon. I'm on the second sleeve, and then I just have the button band to do. Also, the deadline's coming up in 2 weeks-ish, so I do need to get that done first, even though I'm very tempted to cast this on because I've already, gauge swatched and I've already got some yarn caked up. It's ready to go, and I have some time now, but stop. Slow your roll, Mel. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of spontaneous little video with my Fibres West purchases and my spring and summer knitting queue update. Hope everyone has a lovely Easter weekend. And so until next time, guys, happy knitting. Bye.